for the economy. It make a lot of profit, and so you cannot just like destroy them. So, and for the company who organize the APP, you should really the company should really do very good to like to beat the traditional company. So I think the government can help them, like make the tax lower. Yeah, I think that's the good idea.
May I share like some experience from Africa, like my country, because I'm sorry, but I'm gonna maybe skip to the previous two also, like altogether, if that's fine. So in sustainability, like just if we see the only the single pillar, just environmentally being sustainable. I'm from Ethiopia, and in Ethiopia, like I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, started being warm and everything. Everything was really, really nice. The weather is nice. Like we have certain months, and it's called certain months of sunshine, but it's not warm, you know. It's a good weather always, and we did not have anything like no technological stuff, nothing for like long times. Like as far as I know, like even my grandparents never used a car. Okay, my mom and dad use a car, but like it starts on their generation owning a car. And in Ethiopia right now, like to have a car, let's say car costs 3,000 euros here, yeah? To import it and like to use it in Ethiopia, you will pay 100%, like 100% tax. So it's like 6,000, it will end up with 6,000 euros. So, you know, it's really, really expensive, but still there are a lot of cars. Like, and roads, when roads construction, like we have engineers from Japan, India, China, Italy, like these 4 countries are mostly in Ethiopia, involving in construction roads, especially the Chinese companies. There are a lot, and even the road constructions, it does not, it's not designed to include like bicycles, whatever. It's only for cars, you know. And we also have the rail train, which is really good, a good one. It's with the Chinese and Ethiopian together being constructed, and that one is like environmental friendly. It's really good. It's electric train, so it's fine. But other than that, if you say like, how about you use bicycle to the people, they'd be like, no, you know. Even the geographical location, like it's not comfortable to use a bike, especially from when I'm from like I'm in a city where like there are 7 mountains. 7 mountains, yeah, like surrounding the city. So it's like, you know, yeah, you can't use a bike or you'll die. So yeah, that's it. No one uses a bike in where I'm from. I can't ride a bike because of that, because I never used it. So it's just a car. You learn how to drive a car, and then that's it. So it's, even the road constructions does not even think of using bicycles or whatever. It's more, people would see it, it's like what you said, like you have to have a nice house and then a fancy car. That's like living. Yeah. That's what people think, you know, living is that. Yeah. So it's not really being environmental friendly now. It's changing completely. Before it's okay because no one knows what a car is, or no one uses anything except like complaining on the other countries like China and the US and the Europe. We'll just, oh, those people, they are using so many things, and then because of them the environment is changing, and then we're being affected, blah, blah. But now, even us also are affecting it, because we use really a lot of cars, really, really a lot of cars. And like even, you can't think of electric cars to use in Ethiopia. It will be super expensive, you know. Even the normal cars, you get to pay like 100% tax to use them in the country. So it's like when it comes to like using cars, like I think level 3 is where we are in Ethiopia now. Like you can't use it. If you want, you can choose if you want to use it, but you pay a lot of money to use it. So But if you say like, how about using the app, then that comes also with the other pillar of your sustainability presentation before. Like you have to educate the people, you know, and not all people are educated in Ethiopia. Most of the people are in agriculture, so no, not technological stuff. Like it's only really like 40 years that the country is, you know, connecting with the other world right now. So teaching the people by itself is really like another thing, another work. So for me, maybe in other places, level 1 and 2 might be a good thing. But right now, for countries like Ethiopia and most countries in Africa, like higher tax would be a good solution. And then, you know, people might not use it, like try to get rid of it. So I think level 3 would be good for underdeveloped countries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Many thanks for your okay. But I'm in the government, I will take really good consideration of your practice. And that's all for the Movement Climate Neutral program. And now my colleague will have a further discussion about sustainability.
Yeah, that's my great honor. I'm a colleague of the government. Yeah, first of all, I'm so sorry, but I have to ask a question for you guys. Did you still remember where's your ex?
What kind of X?
Yeah, like your ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend?
Okay.
I don't know.
That?
Did someone can have an answer?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You still remember
Where what? Where he is?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's working for Ethiopian Airlines now. He's a pilot.
yeah.
I know where he is.
You want my answer? Like my roommate. Did you still remember? Yes, but you mean which one? The latest one maybe? One?
The latest 5.
You want to share more? Where?
No way.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I also have a lot of exes, and they are all in China. I have a picture of them if you want to look. Yeah,
Wow.
it's a nice picture, I think. I have a lot of ex-boyfriends. I treat my old cell phones, my old laptop, my old cameras. I just treat them like my boyfriend. I like it so much before. Once I bought them, I just don't want to put them away. I use them a lot, but one day I find that they are broken. I can't use it anymore, so I discard them. But have you ever wondered, where did you discard them? Where does it go? Probably, most of them have one final destination, because Guyu is a very small city in China of Guangzhou province. Guangdong province, sorry. Yeah, I think even like our Chinese guys will know this city. It's a quite small city. But in Guyu, you can see a lot of mountains of waste. Yeah, Guyu actually is a home to 5,500 businesses devoted to processing discarded electronics. And we call this discarded electronics the e-waste. And here you could see there is a huge supply of this e-waste in Guyu. And all of them cover, or almost 80% of them comes from the overseas, including Europe. And also, they have, the huge supply is like 1.5 million pounds of the junk computers, of the junk cell phones or keyboards from all over the world. And this is just for 1 year. And of course, this e-waste causes a very serious environmental problem in Guyu. And you can see, this is very commonly seen in Guyu. And of course, this serious environmental problem also have a very serious influence on the people's health. And a report from the local website says there's a health report that the children of Guyu, they are suffering from a very extremely high level of the lead poisoning. And another health report also from the Shantou University. the nearby Shanghai University, it says the Guiyu has the highest level of the cancer-causing dioxin in the world. This is what caused the cancer, and this is all coming from the metals of the e-waste. Yeah, actually this case is what I see 2-3 years ago, and now people do have some realization of this serious problem, and now they take some actions on that. And here's a short video, we can have a look to know about this action.
In China's Guangdong province, recycling electronic waste, or e-waste, is a multi-million-dollar business. Some 80% of the people who live in the city of Guiwu earn a living by ripping apart old electronics, especially mobile phones and computers, and salvaging valuable components to sell on the lucrative e-waste black market. But the communication revolution brought about by these high-tech products also has a darker side.
You know, we should really be mindful of nowadays, people get rid of their old phones all the time.
Exposure to carcinogens, toxic fumes, and contaminated soil can be deadly, experts say. To address this dilemma, Baidu has come up with an innovation that could help reduce the improper disposal of electronic waste in China. It's a web-based app called Recycling Station, developed in partnership with the United Nations Development Program, UNDP.
This is very new, but we already see the success in this. Within 2 months, about 11,000 devices got recycled.
The app was tested at TCL in Tianjin City, one of the largest manufacturers of electronics, as well as a leading recycling company in the north of China. It's all part of a scheme supported by the government of China to cut the amount of e-waste generated in the country. Unless immediate action is taken, by 2017, China will overtake the United States as the world's largest e-waste producer.
The app is a fine piece of technology and everything, but I think more important than that is the mentality, commitment behind it.
So after this short movie and my question, do you also have this kind of situation in your own country? Like me in China, still people have realized that we have a serious e-waste problem, but there is still not a very complete legislation for the recycling of the e-waste, for recycling of the metals. We still have this problem. Like once I have a broken cell phones, I still don't know where I can discard them or where I can recycle them or something like this. So my question is, would you still want to talk about the situation in your country? Are you doing very well in this recycling or reuse of the electronic devices, or is it still like a mess in your country?
Okay, that's enough.
Yeah, I think it's quite organized, but to be honest, I have no idea about it.
Yeah.
They do a lot of promotion about it, so in offices we have little green boxes to put old batteries from remote device or electronic devices, but we tend to do it, but we don't know where it goes actually. So. And also, it's also like this for the blue, like garbage bags, where you put plastic bottles. So we do it, but we don't really know the final where it takes place. Or,
I have a question. Do you mean that if I store away a cell phone here in Belgium and finally this cell phone will be dumped in Guiyu?
It's not 100%,
80%.
but most of them. Guiyu has the e-waste from the overseas, like 80% of the e-waste is coming from the
All over
overseas.
the world?
Yeah, all over the world. And this situation also happened in Africa, I think, and in India. They also have the problem of the e-waste.
Yeah, there is a problem, but nothing is being done.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no recycling or anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think we just throw them everywhere in a trash can and that's it.
But after this short movie, do you have some change in your mind? Maybe
Yeah,
you
of
have
course,
to take
yeah.
care of them. Yeah. And how about in Vietnam?
Yeah, this problem is existing in everywhere, but the solution is not efficiency enough. Actually, it's always depend on the problem. The main problem is the benefit and the economic problem. Yeah, because when you recycle, it takes a lot of money, rather than you just throw it away or bury it in the soil. That's the main problem.
Yeah. I think this is one of the very important aim of our segment. We think that sustainability is not only about you and yourself, it's about the next generation. You have a son, you have a grandson, you have a great-grandson, and sustainability is not on you, but also on them. You still have to think future. You have to think of your next generation. And I think the e-waste is a very typical example for this next generation. After you discard some of your electronic devices, please do think about green, do think about environment, do think about your next generation. Then I think we can make a little bit change of this decision. Okay, and next time I will give to my colleague Andrew. She will give more cases about sustainability.
So after a sorrowful story about your exes, let's switch to another sorrowful story. We have all probably heard that Tesla has released its Model 3 recently, and it's very popular because it's an electric car and it is considered to be cheaper and much green than the other cars. Electric car is also included in UN Climate Neutral program. You can even find them in the city center. A lot of adverts saying that the electric car are much green, but are they really green and produce less carbon dioxide than the other products? Let's find the answer in the video.
Do electric cars really help the environment? President Obama thinks so. So does Leonardo DiCaprio and many others. The argument goes like this. Regular cars run on gasoline, a fossil fuel that pumps CO2 straight out of the tailpipe and into the atmosphere. Electric cars run on electricity. They don't burn any gasoline at all. No gas, no CO2. In fact, electric cars often advertised as creating zero emissions. But do they really? Let's take a closer look. First, there's the energy needed to produce the car. More than a third of the lifetime carbon dioxide emissions from an electric car comes from the energy used to make the car itself, especially the battery. The mining of lithium, for instance, is not a green activity. When an electric car rolls off the production line, it's already been responsible for more than 25,000 pounds of carbon dioxide emissions. The amount for making a conventional car, just 16,000 pounds. But that's not the end of the CO2 emissions. Because while it's true that electric cars don't run on gasoline, they do run on electricity, which in the US is often produced by another fossil fuel, coal. As green venture capitalist Vinod Khosla likes to point out, electric cars are coal-powered cars. The most popular electric car, the Nissan Leaf, over a 90,000-mile lifetime will emit 31 metric tons of CO2 based on emissions from its production, its electricity consumption, an average US fuel mix, and its ultimate scrapping. A comparable Mercedes CDI A160 over a similar lifetime will emit just 3 tons more across its production, diesel consumption, and ultimate scrapping. The results are similar for top-line Tesla, the king of electric cars. It emits about 44 tons, which is only 5 tons less than a similar Audi A7 Quattro. So throughout the full life of an electric car, it will emit just 3 to 5 tons less CO2. In Europe, on its European trading system, it currently costs $7 to cut 1 ton of CO2. So the entire climate benefit of an electric car is about $35. Yet the US federal government essentially provides electric car buyers with a subsidy of up to $7,500. Paying $7,500 for something you could get for $35 is a very poor deal. And that doesn't include the billions more in federal and state grants, loans, and tax write-offs that go directly to battery and electric car makers. The other main benefit from electric cars is supposed to be lower pollution. But remember Vinod Khosला's observation, electric cars are coal-powered cars. Yes, it might be powered by coal, proponents will say, but unlike the regular car, coal plant emissions are far away from city centers, where most people live, and where damage from air pollution is greatest. However, new research in the proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences found that while gasoline cars pollute closer to home, coal-fired power actually pollutes more, a lot more. How much more? Well, the researchers estimate that if the US has 10% more gasoline cars in 2020, 870 more people will die each year from the additional air pollution. If the US has 10% more electric vehicles powered on the average US electricity mix, 1,617 more people will die every year from the extra pollution. Twice as many. But of course, electricity from renewables like solar and wind creates energy for electric cars without CO2. Won't the perceived rapid ramp-up of these renewables make future electric cars much cleaner? Unfortunately, this is mostly wishful thinking. Today, the US gets 14% of its electric power from renewables. In 25 years, Obama's Energy Information Administration estimates that number will have gone up just 3 percentage points to 17%. Meanwhile, those fossil fuels that generate 65% of US electricity today will still generate about 64% of it in 2040. While electric car owners may cruise around feeling virtuous, the reality is that the electric car cuts almost no CO2, costs taxpayers a fortune, and surprisingly generates more air pollution than traditional gasoline cars. I'm Bjorn Lundberg, president of the Copenhagen Consensus Center.
To subscribe to our YouTube channel, click here. To help keep our videos free, donate here.
Okay, so now you have an idea about green cars. They're not always green. Of course, the video was already only limited in America, and things might be a little bit different globally. But the general idea is the green products or green cars are not green. This happens with the other products such as compact fluorescent bulbs. They're considered to save more energy. However, they're in fact not that green because they contain mercury